Welcome everyone, this is Professor Rood and this is video 2 for chapter 1, and we're going to look at our atmosphere and oceans and how they evolved through time. The heating and differentiation of the Earth into the crust, mantle, and core actually led to the formation of atmospheres and oceans. Minerals that contain water or gases release them during the heating and melting process. As the Earth's surface continued to cool, the water condensed to form oceans and gases form the atmosphere. The atmosphere early in Earth's history was quite different from what we have today. It lacked free oxygen. It contained nitrogen and carbon dioxide instead, and methane, ammonia, and sulfur. This would not have been very conducive to human existence. Our planet was, in fact, barren of life early on. In order for life to evolve on our planet, the atmosphere had to be modified. Single-celled photosynthetic blue-green algae called stromatolites are responsible for pumping vast amounts of oxygen into the early atmosphere. Photosynthesis is the process that stromatolites use, and the waste product is oxygen. Sunlight energizes the chemical reaction in the algae. The food is produced from CO2, and oxygen, once again, is the waste product of photosynthetic organisms. Once enough oxygen accumulated in the atmosphere, breathing organisms could then evolve. These are live stromatolites in Shark Bay, Australia. There's only a few environments in the world that are conducive to stromatolites, and this happens to be one of them. So you are looking at your great-great-great-great-grandmas and grandpas here. The earliest fossil record on Earth is quite poor because organisms possessed no hard parts. For example, organisms had no teeth, bones, shells, or claws to be preserved, and as a result, the remains were not fossilized. The first multicellular oxygen-breathing organisms developed about 1 billion years after oxygenation of the atmosphere occurred. By about 600 million years ago, the oceans were teeming with life, and the marine organisms had shells and skeletons, and our fossil record improves tremendously. This is a geologic spiral that is showing geologic time starting 4.5 billion years ago and working its way all the way up to today, which is the Holocene epoch of the Quaternary period in the Cenozoic era. This is a nice little chart as well because it shows when different organisms appeared in the geologic record. Geology was initially an observational science. Later, people tried to explain it. Today, modern geology is much more quantitative and interdisciplinary. That means that it draws on many different sciences, including chemistry, physics, biology, and engineering. Geology can be quite challenging for a variety of reasons. One thing, there's a disparity between scientists' lab and nature's. For example, a volcano is big. A river is not easily contained within a laboratory. So we have that problem. Time. Geologic processes take millions of years of time to complete, and we as humans are only on the planet for a few decades. Also, problems with experiments and data can occur. So a scientist can conduct experiments on the same material, stopping and examining along the way. Earth's material, over its vast expanse of time, has likely been transported half a dozen times or more as the conditions on the planet change. So the rock's history may be very difficult to figure out from the end product that you're looking at. This table shows the rates of geologic processes. For example, the rising and falling of tides once a day, the creation of an ocean basin like the Atlantic, 100 million years, rebound by 1 meter of continental depression by ice sheets following the Ice Age takes 100 years, and so forth. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of geologic time and the rates of geologic processes. In all of my classes, since they are all science classes, we need to talk about what the scientific method is. And it is a means in discovering scientific principles. The starting point is, first of all, come up with a problem you want to solve. You make observations, perform experiments, collect data, and interpret the data. From these observations and interpretations of data, a hypothesis may be formed. That is a tentative explanation for the initial interpretation of the data. You can have multiple working hypotheses initially. The hypothesis needs to be continuously tested, and if found to hold true, a theory may form. A theory is a very well-tested model. So a geologist wants explanations for why certain events occur, such as an earthquake, so we can call those geologic hazards. We also need to know where economic resources are, and there's always the concern about the ozone and global warming. This shows massive destruction of an expressway from the Japanese earthquake in 1995 in Kobe. This is ash pouring out of Mount St. Helens in May of 1980, another geologic hazard. One of the largest floods in Missouri was in 1993, and this shows the Missouri River flooding in Jefferson City. These roads that are underwater. When humans build on precarious slopes, there's always the chance for slope failure or landslides. As far as economic resources go, this is an image of an Indonesian mine. And what happens with the process of mining is it creates oversteepening of the slopes, and that can result in deadly landslides. So residents are also concerned about contamination from acid water situations. This is a copper mine, and the runoff from the site can be acidic in nature and get into people's water. So this is also a gold mine. So it's gold and copper, 2.5 miles across. A very large Glassberg mine. A very dangerous work environment as well. This ends video 2 for chapter 1, and we will see you for the final video 3 for chapter 1.